Welcome back, everyone, to another ASMR video. And today we are going to be doing a video that has been requested by one of my subscribers a while back. Actually, it was during one of my Assassin's Creed Shadows playthroughs on the live streaming part of the channel. And we were having a pretty good conversation about video games and things in general, and he mentioned, you know what, you should do a top 10 video game video. And I said, yeah, that's a pretty good idea. But I just didn't know how to go about doing it. Well, I could have done a top 10 of my favorite games. That's the way I thought I'd do the videos. And I still may. But I, over the years, have gotten emails after messages on Instagram and Facebook. Hey, Andy, you have a massive collection. What are some of these things worth? Or what are the most expensive games you have in your collection? And I figured, you know what? I could take the top 10 video games idea and first make it into a reoccurring series where we will explore every system I own and the top 10 most expensive games for that system, what they're worth. And we're going to start with the original Nintendo Game Boy. This system came out when I was 4 years old, 1989, I believe. Or excuse me, I was 5 years old in 1989. And I was always the kid that grew up one generation behind everyone else. I went to a private school. Everybody in the school was beyond way richer than I was. So when Super Nintendo and Genesis came out, I finally got this. And when this and Nintendo, the original NES, came out, the only games I had were Radio Shack little Game & Watch games. For those of you who remember the Tiger Electronic games, well, Radio Shack made their own versions of basic Game & Watch games, and they were $20 or so cheaper than a Tiger game, and that's what my mom could afford at the time. So when the Genesis came out and the Super Nintendo, I got this, and then when the Nintendo 64 came out, I finally got a Genesis and so forth. And then when I was a teenager and I got my first job and I was working hours during the week, I could save my money and buy what I wanted. But this was the first system I ever owned. And to this day, I'd still say, for nostalgic's sake, it's my favorite. It would be between this and the original PlayStation as my favorite systems of all time. So let's take a look at this original Game Boy. Here, as you can see, the system includes the Tetris Game Pack, headphones for digital stereo sound, video link cable for simultaneous multiple player competition, and 4 AA batteries. And I always thought this box looked so cool. I remember getting this for the holiday season, and I couldn't wait. And when I opened this up, me and my younger sister, it was the happiest days of our lives because we finally had a Game Boy. And here it shows you some in-game graphics for some of the games, Super Mario Land and Baseball, which is a video link game, and then Tennis, I believe, which is a video link game. And on the back here, it says the Game Boy Compact Video Game System. Game Boy, the state-of-the-art compact video game system for portable, handheld video action. Completely self-contained, Game Boy features patented Nintendo controls, cross-key joystick, A, B, start and select buttons, plus screen contrast and volume control. Powerful CPU and microprocessors allow complex scrolling backgrounds, hundreds of images, and exciting play. Tetris Game Pack, stereo earphones, and batteries included. Also includes video link cable for simultaneous multiple player competition, interchangeable game packs. And it says, this is the new generation of video game play. It's Game Boy. And then it says multiple player action. Many Game Boy titles offer video link for head-to-head competition on the same game. The connecting cable allows handheld multiplayer competition. And then here it advertises some of the peripherals you could buy. So here, popular accessory, it says, and you can't really see because of the camera angle, but here it's showing you a compact carrying case, specially designed to hold and protect your personal Game Boy compact video game system. And then the rechargeable battery pack and the AC adapter. Right here, plug in the AC adapter for continuous fun. When fully charged, the battery pack provides 10 hours of power for on-the-go action. Accessories sold separately. So, that is the system. I think what I'll do actually is maybe I can move this up a little more. Hopefully the camera doesn't go. Okay, that's perfect. So there you are. There it is. Okay. Well, the first game on our list, and we're going to go from the least expensive, most expensive game to the most expensive game. And we have a top 10. So in 10th place, or there's a tie actually, but we'll do it in alphabetical order. So tied for 10th, we have, in descending alphabetical order. Now you may say, well, Andy, this game that you're going to show us, how is it that expensive if it came with the Game Boy? Well, in 10th place, and by the way, all of these game prices are from eBay listings and price charting, so that's where I'm getting these figures from as of today, the 25th of October, 2025. But at $125, the 10th place is the complete in-box version of Tetris, the game that came with the system. Now, the reason I believe that this is actually worth some decent money is because the game came with the system, and so very rarely, or in the beginning I should say, they didn't, I don't think, sell this separately. And then as Game Boy became a hit, over the years they had different packages where they would include a different game, like Super Mario Land was part of some of these in-game packages, and I forget, there might have been a couple others off the top of my head, I don't remember, but I know Super Mario Land was one of them. But here we go. It says Tetris, the relentless building block video puzzle from Russia with Fun. And it's a Game Link game pack. And here it says on the back, the Soviet game sensation. Beams, boxes, zigzags, and L-shaped blocks drop down a narrow passage. Feel your pulse quicken as you spin, shift, and align the shapes for a perfect fit. It's challenging and demands split-second decision. Start at new heights for a tougher contest. Pick the music and set your pace from 20 progressive skill levels. And then here it shows some graphics and this game pack for use with the Game Boy compact video game system. Now this game, guys, is one of the most iconic games you'll ever find, ever. It's, in my opinion, well, I shouldn't say in my opinion because it's my opinion, but This is my favorite game of all time, the original Tetris. I've said this many times, and I'll try to articulate it as much as I can. But musicians, when they hear notes and when they play music, they can visualize it in their brains. It's just perfect. It's perfection. It's a language that is just known. Same thing for mathematicians. This game is its own poetry. It's its own perfection. And playing this game, whenever I pick any version up of the original Tetris game, it's just, again, something that is just, it makes sense, if that makes any sense. So, $125, we have Tetris. Okay. Tied for 10th, technically the 9th game out of the 10, is a fighting game from Capcom. And it is Street Fighter II for the Game Boy. This is one of those games that you could put into the Super Game Boy in your Super Nintendo, and it would give a colored background and give a little bit of color to the game. And let's read the back. Take the wildest fighting action everywhere you go. Travel the globe seeking the wildest martial arts action with the courageous and elite world warriors. Get ready to rumble as you choose your champion and prepare to brawl your way through the world warrior ranks for a chance to put the hurt on M. Bison. With fierce displays of bone-crushing moves, these global contestants brawl to the very end. Rolling attacks, dragon punches, fireballs, and sonic booms devastate the competition. Can anyone survive this incredible test of martial arts annihilation? World Warrior martial arts action comes to Game Boy, featuring favorite fighters with their special attacks and unique fighting styles. Super Game Boy compatible with border changes at every fighting location around the globe. 2-player simultaneous action with Game Link or Super Game Boy. 4 megs of hard-hitting action with incredible graphics and awesome special moves. And here it shows the gameplay on the Game Boy Compact Video Game System. And here it shows the gameplay on the Super NES using the Super Game Boy adapter, which obviously were sold separately. This is also worth $125. Now, one thing I forgot to do and I wanted to do, I think we should take a look at what's inside these games. So, let's be very careful. Hopefully that wasn't too loud. I apologize if it was. And let's open this up and see what there is to see here. Okay. So in the Tetris, as you can see, it did come, this version at least, with a little pamphlet here. Okay, good, we're fine. So we have a free player's guide. I think I have this, by the way, this Nintendo player's guide for the Game Boy somewhere. I'm pretty sure I still have that. So you'll get this incredible player's guide free. Game Boy player's guide. We're talking over 150 pages of top secret material and strictly classified info that is usually reserved for Nintendo's programmers, but it's all yours free. In-depth reviews of over 25 top titles, plus a complete directory to help out on your future purchases. This player's guide gives you the power to blow your game wide open. The Super Power Club is packed with a lot more than just incredible power. Just check out all the amazing stuff you get when you join, plus tips, tricks, strategies, and maps every month of the year. So what are you waiting for? Join now. And I forget how I got this because I was never a Nintendo Power subscriber. But somehow I got it as a kid. It wasn't when I was collecting. I had this somehow as a kid, and I don't know or remember how. And then here it shows the Fun Club or Nintendo Power Super Club. Look at all this cool stuff members get. So let's take a look. Nintendo Power Magazine. Your membership includes 12 issues of Nintendo Power Magazine. Every month you'll get valuable tips, strategies, full color maps, and reviews for all 3 Nintendo systems, plus tons of other great gear. Power certificates. When you're a Super Power Club member, every year you get $36 in exclusive Power certificates to help you get the hottest game packs at reduced prices. It's pretty good. Power cleaning service. Free cleaning of your Nintendo system at your participating official Nintendo World Class Service Center. It's just another way Super Power Club members can clean up. Power trading cards. Each month you'll get 6 Power trading cards featuring stats and challenges for your favorite games. Collect a winning set and you could score a free game pack. It's pretty cool. Super Power issue for Super Power Club members only. In January, this spectacular issue gives you a year-end look at the very best of Nintendo. It's packed with plenty of extras that you'll only find in this special issue, and only for Super Power Club members. It's the best of the best, plus an exclusive look at what's next from the world of Nintendo. So back then, you could get 3 years of club benefits for $45. That's pretty good. 2 years was 33 and 1 was 18. It's a pretty good deal. Okay. Here's the game pack itself in its carrying tray. And then we have the manual, Tetris instruction booklet. What is Tetris? Tetris is a new type of puzzle game from the Soviet Union. It's really simple to play. 7 different shaped blocks fall down the game field, one after the other. The object of the game is to keep the blocks from piling up to the top of the game field. To do this, you can move the blocks to the left and right and rotate them as they fall. If you can completely fill in one horizontal line, that line disappears and you get points. If the blocks pile up to the top of the game field, that's the end of the game. Tetris is simple, easy to understand, and difficult to drag yourself away from. Tetris originally came from the word tetra, meaning the number 4. By rearranging 4 squares, you can make 7 different shapes, which are the pieces in this game. With the Game Boy, you can play 3 types of games: Endurance Game A, Game B, where you play for the highest score at the 25th line, and a 2-player game, where you can connect to another Game Boy. And then we have another pamphlet here, consumer information booklet, and then advertisement from Nintendo themselves. Here it gives you a, looks like a Metroid 2 poster on one side, and then shows you different games that are coming out for the system from Nintendo. So it shows you Balloon Kid and Radar Mission and Dr. Mario and Nintendo World Cup and Quicks and tennis, baseball, play action football, Super RC Pro-Am, F1 race, and golf. And then down here, you had Super Mario Land, Kid Icarus, Solar Striker, Alleyway, and of course Metroid 2. It also advertised the hip pouch carrying case, the fanny pack, and a 4-player adapter as well. So let's put this back in the box. Hopefully it all fits in the way we need it to. So let's make sure we don't mess anything up. Okay, we'll throw these in here. Okay, let's throw this back. Okay, now let's take a look at Street Fighter 2. This also, again, was worth $125. Okay. So back in the day, they stopped doing the plastic trays, and they had these paper boxes. Now, whoever I got this from did a pretty good job. This manual is in its own plastic baggie. Oh, it's a little damaged, as you can see. That's not good. But I'll leave that the way it is. And there, got a Super Game Boy pamphlet instruction insert. Shows you how to put the game in your Super Game Boy. And then there's another advertisement here for more Nintendo games, the Play It Loud. Play It Loud was the mantra, and they also had Play It Loud versions of Game Boy where the Game Boy itself was gray, but they also came out with different colored Game Boys before the Game Boy Color came out. So here it's showing you Space Invaders and Metroid 2 and Kirby's Pinball Land and Tetris and Wario Land, Super Mario Land 3, Donkey Kong, Tetris 2, Wario Blast, Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, Kirby's Dream Land. So, and then we also have another consumer pamphlet as well, right in there. So let's throw this back in. Now, Street Fighter 2, I never really played it. It's one of my sister's games. She, for some reason, I was a huge Mortal Kombat fan, as you may know, and I think because I liked Mortal Kombat, not that my sister really understood what Street Fighter was, but she knew it was different, and so I think that's the main reason why she wanted the game so badly, because she could have her own fighting game and say, look at me, you know, I have my own game, nana, 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 sort of a thing. And as we know as kids, we all did that kind of stuff. So, you know, let's throw this back in. Yeah, but I was never a huge Street Fighter fan. What I do remember is this was not a terrible game on the Game Boy at all. It was not. It was, for what it was pretty good. Okay. Next up on the list, in 8th place, we have one of my actual favorite games on the Game Boy, full stop. It is from Konami, but under their Ultra Games label. If you guys, you may or may not know, but back in the day, Nintendo had a rule that third-party publishers could only publish 4 games a year for their consoles. That was it. It was one of the ways Nintendo wanted to limit the potential of saturation and garbage, which is what almost brought down the video game industry in the early 80s before the NES came out. Well, Konami didn't really want to do that. They were getting pissed. And so what they did is they created a subsidiary called Ultra Games. It's one of the ways that they were able to get around Nintendo's rule where a company can only have 4 games per year. I think Nintendo realized what Konami was doing, but they left them alone because Konami was making Nintendo tons of money. So it's one of those things where, okay, the rules are different for you because you make all of us money, so we'll leave you alone and feign ignorance, sort of a thing. But this game is worth $167, and it is Operation C. As you can see, I don't know why I have a sticker on here for $125. I should probably get another case. But this is what I might have paid for it back then. I don't remember, but it's worth a little bit more now than this. But yeah, this is Contra, basically, for the Game Boy. It is a standalone, separate game. It is not a port. It is its own game. And it was Contra on the go. And my God, did I love this game. This game is so amazing. It's a short game. I think it has 4 or 5 levels. 5 if I had to guess off the top of my head. But it is, the controls are amazing. The controls are fluid. The action is non-stop. It is a Contra game for the Game Boy. Let's take a look at the back here. You're up against a cold-blooded snake of an enemy. Red Falcon had devoured a portion of this planet, and now the vile Black Viper has come from deep space for seconds. But he hasn't come alone. Vipers transported a battalion of Battletron tanks, stealth subs, laser cannons, and annihilating androids. And he seized a secret naval lab to develop a new breed of supreme alien being. So Scorpion stands alone against biological experiments gone bad, like towering tarantulas and venomous Vesti flies. His mission? Level the lab before Viper transforms Earth into an alien nation. Although he may be a solo commando, Scorpion has an array of devastating weapons at his disposal, like an M90 shell shocker, fire phaser, and homing blaster. But it will take more than sheer firepower to survive 5 new lethal levels of naval ports, forests, caverns, and a laboratory filled with genetic mutants. You've got a snowball's chance in Haiti of making it, but that's the way Scorpion likes it. It's for 1 player only. So I was right, there are 5 levels in this game. So let's take a look inside and see what we can find. If there's any goodies in here. Well, look at that. We do have some goodies. So here's the manual. Let's take a look inside and see if there's any stories or anything. Welcome to the world of Ultra. You're the hero of Ultra's crackshot version of Operation C for Game Boy. We suggest you read the following instructions thoroughly before heading into battle. Today's menu features homegrown aliens. Corporal Lance, codenamed Scorpion, is no slouch when it comes to man-to-alien combat. He and his partner, Sergeant Bill Mad Dog Coe, have twice defeated Red Falcon, the most despicable villain to overtake a planet, or at least try. But the danger is not over yet. The vile Black Viper has come from deep space to finish what Red Falcon started, and he did not come alone. Black Viper has transported a battalion of Battletron tanks, stealth subs, laser cannons, and annihilating androids. Now, from a secret naval base on a desolate ocean island, he is planning to unleash his hideous secret weapon, a new mutant breed of killer aliens. Armed with an array of devastating weapons, Scorpion's new mission is to infiltrate the 5 freak-laden levels of the enemy base and put an end to the madness and Black Viper once and for all. As he prepares to enter the secret army base alone, he knows it will take more than sheer firepower to wipe out Black Viper's horrific horde of mega mutants. Scorpion will have to keep his eyes peeled, sharp for unceasing assault by artillery snipers, and keep his wits about him as he leaps into battle against grotesque genetic mishaps. The revival of the aliens must be stopped, and the ambitions of the evil Viper vanquished forever. And we have an actual registration card. Putting this card in our hands could put a free Ultra game in yours. You'll receive the Ultra game of your choice if your name is chosen in our monthly drawing. Simply fill out this card and drop it in the mail. No purchase necessary. Wanted to see if there was an expiration on here, but there is not. Wonder what would happen if I sent this right now. And then there's an Ultra pamphlet for the games that they made. The future of Gameboy is in your hands. So, it shows you coming soon, World Circuit Series, Quarth, Operation C, which is what we have here, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Fall of the Foot Clan, and Nemesis, which is a shooter. Alright, in 7th place, we have a game that at first glance you may think, that's really cool. And then when you play the game, you realize, oh, wait a minute, this is not what I thought this would be. And this is a pretty cool story. So I got this copy when I was game hunting back up north. I went to a used video game store, and the guy running the counter had no idea what he was doing. And so I found this game complete. I asked him how much it was. He looked online and saw loose copies of the game selling for like $20. And he looked at me and said, well, I don't know how much I should charge for the box, but since I don't know and don't know how to figure it out, I'll just sell it to you for $20. I said, here's my money. And before I could even get a receipt, I ran out of that store as fast as my legs could carry me, because I just got a pickup for the ages. 7th on the list, from the company Toho, is Godzilla. Toho obviously is the movie studio behind Godzilla. But if you looked at this game right off the bat, just from the front of it, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be a cool fighting game. And this game is worth $171. I bought this for $20. It's worth $171. This, however, is not a fighting game. Let's read the back. Destroy all rocks and advance to the next scene. Somewhere among 64 scenes, Manila is confined. Do you remember that Godzilla had a little son? Manila is his name. He has been kidnapped by horrible monsters and confined to a great labyrinth called Matrix, which is overrun by powerful monsters. Can Godzilla rescue his son? This is a puzzle game where you have to move these stones to get to the end, but you cannot be hurt or touched by the monsters that are running around the screen. Yeah. So, is this game amazing? For a puzzle game, absolutely. I think it was really good. It's not something I would want to play, however. Let's take a look inside here. I don't know why this will not come out. Let's see, here we go. Okay, let's take a look inside now. So here's the manual. And, well, this is interesting. So we have the game, but we do not have a tray or plastic or paper box. So that's good to know. I have to make a mental note and try to grab one. So here we have another Nintendo Power pamphlet here. Before you buy your next game pack, plug into the power. So let's see if anything's gone up since the last one we saw. So a 2-year subscription, yeah, it's only $30. It was $33 beforehand. So it shows you the Pro Grail, or the, no, here's how you can get with the program fast, okay. Yeah, so there it is. There we go, okay. Here's the game pack, and then here is the manual. Let's see if anything interesting is in here. Destroy all, yeah, we know that, okay. Alright, so let's just read how to play. This is how you would, this is just telling you the different password features to save your game, how to start and continue, input a password, game screen, how to defeat enemy monsters. Okay, well, how to play. So, the game is played with a 64-scene matrix labyrinth, having 8 scenes vertical and 8 horizontal. Manila is in one of the scenes. You, Godzilla, must battle your way through each scene until finding Manila. First, destroy all the rocks in a scene within a fixed span of time. Then you will see arrows on the screen. They indicate passages to the next scene. If Godzilla crosses one of the arrows, you will be in the scene the arrow indicates. Let's say you play scene 5. If Godzilla destroys all the rocks in the same scene and passes over a down arrow, you will be in scene 13 as shown in example 1. In case you fail to destroy all the rocks in a scene within a fixed length of time, Ghidra will appear. Ghidra is invincible, so be sure to destroy all the rocks before Ghidra appears. To check what scene you are playing, you can see the entire plan of the 64-scene matrix during your game. The plan shows the route you have followed and the scenes you have cleared. For details, see page 4. Okay. So here are the items. A sand glass temporarily stops an enemy monster. A heart increases Godzilla's life energy. Thunder destroys all enemy monsters on the screen. And then we have the introduction of characters. You have Godzilla, the hero of this game operated by you. He fights vigorously to get back his kidnapped son, Manila. Mechagodzilla. When Mechagodzilla gets close to Godzilla, he attacks the latter. Baragon also attacks Godzilla. Rodan flies freely over the scene attacking Godzilla. Angulius attacks Godzilla furiously when finding the latter. Hedra advances menacingly, but never rushes or punches Godzilla. But Hedra can never be defeated however hard you hit him. Ghidra appears when Godzilla remains in one scene too long. Ghidra's superior strength makes him invincible. And then Manila, Godzilla's son, is hidden in the great labyrinth of Matrix. It is up to you to save him as soon as possible. And there you are. So that is Godzilla, number 7 on the list. Let's throw this back in here. Okay. Number 6 on the list is before I show it, it's a sequel to a game that I tried playing as a kid, and it was so hard. It's one of those games where you know what you're supposed to do, but you don't know where to go. It's one of the most haunting soundtracks ever, really, for a Game Boy game, I feel. Now, this game just missed the top 10, the first one. The second one is the rarer of the two, and so it did make the top 10. But number 6 on the list is worth $176, and it is Dr. Franken 2 from Jalico. The first game, you played as you played as Frankenstein, and you were in a mansion, and your girlfriend was destroyed and cut up into many pieces, and you had to go and find all of her pieces to put her back together again within, I think, a certain time limit, maybe. Well, this one, let's just read the back here. In-game graphics are pretty cool for the Game Boy. So, it is many... Okay, so right off the bat, there's a misspelling here. It is many years since Dr. von Frankenbone passed on. It should be years. But I don't know why they put years there, but anyway. Okay, so it is many years, it should be, since Dr. von Frankenbone passed on, and Frankie is in big trouble again. The late doctor's castle, where Frankie had spent many happy years with his girlfriend Bitsy, is crumbling and badly in need of repair. If his problems weren't already enough, the electricity company have finally caught up with him and presented him with a huge bill. Frankie's only hope is to find the late doctor's lost treasure, a golden tablet depicting the image of Bitsy. Famed throughout the land, but now scattered and lost. Drastic situations call for drastic measures. Frankie has fled von Frankenbone's castle and is sheltering in the doctor's hidden chateau. Unhappy at the thought of an uncontrolled monster on the loose, the local villagers have locked him in. It is your quest as Frankie to search the chateau for clues to the whereabouts of the lost fortune and to escape captivity so that you may search the estate grounds and beyond, from the depths of the ocean to the pyramids of Egypt. Only after much traveling may you return to pay off your debts. Frankie is back with new levels and new challenges, but hurry, time is running out. So, that is number 6. I'm not going to even attempt to open that up because the writing on the back was so poorly written. Okay. Number 5. This I didn't even know existed. I saw on eBay a copy of this game complete, but the PAL version, which is European European release, PAL regions. And I only collect US or Canada releases. I made an exception for this because it is a brand that I love to death. And so I made a few exceptions in my collection for certain non-US releases. So I had this game in my collection, and then lo and behold, on eBay, I saw the US release of the same game. And I couldn't believe that it was released in the United States. I thought it was only a PAL release. So I immediately bought it. And I sold the PAL version to a guy. I traded it into him, really. There's a store in New York, in Colony, New York, near Albany, called Mr. Deals. Very, very cool video game. It's a pawn shop, basically, but tons and tons of video game stuff. And so when I visited earlier this year to go to a Bills game, or maybe it was a little, it wasn't this year, it was last year, when I went to see a Bills game with my buddies, I ended up stopping at the store just to see if he had anything I needed, and he did. And I knew I was going to stop there, so I brought some stuff, and one of the games was the PAL version of this. But number 5 on the list, worth $329, is a double pack of Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2 for the Game Boy. This came out from Acclaim. So here on the back it shows Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. Mortal Kombat here on the side. The #1 arcade smash that started it all is here. And then here the in-game graphics show Liu Kang's Star Strike, or Air Strike, excuse me, and Get Over Here from Scorpion. And then Mortal Kombat 2 on this side. The combat continues. The fierce combatants of Mortal Kombat 2 battle to defeat Shao Kahn. Here it shows Finish Him. This is Reptile's fatality. And a Babality. Reptile against Melina. Nothing can prepare you. Together on one game pack for the first time, the ultimate fighting experience. Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. The most lethal combo ever created. Now, the first Mortal Kombat game, I remember being in the Walpole Mall, Walpole, Massachusetts. And I was walking around waiting for my mom to finish shopping. And I happened to go into Record Town, for those of you who remember that store. And right on a display, right in front of the store, they had the original Mortal Kombat for the Game Boy, marked down to, I think, 20 or 30 bucks. I want to say $30. So I ran and ran and ran until I found my mom, and I begged her to get me Mortal Kombat for Game Boy, and she did. And then after that, me, my mom, and my sister went to the Cold Stone Creamery for dinner. But I remember racing home, as I was in the car, but you know what I mean. And I jump in the car, and we go all the way home, and I run out of the car and run in the house. And I couldn't wait to put this in my Game Boy, and I did. And boy, was I excited but disappointed at the same time. Because, #1, it was missing Johnny Cage. It only had, it had every fighter except Johnny Cage. And secondly, the only had 2 stages. This pit stage, and then the stage where the monks are in Shang Tsung's court, as you can see here. And the gameplay was atrocious. It was so slow. It must have ran at like 2 frames per second. Mortal Kombat 2, on the other hand, still was missing some characters, but it had 2 stages as well. But this game was fast-paced and incredible. It was so cool. And not only that, they had hidden characters in this one. I remember running in the Dedham Mall. I would go to Bradley's, or I would go to Walden Books, and I would go into the video game section praying that there was any sort of tips or tricks or hidden secrets that I could write down, fatalities even, or whatever the case may be, hidden characters, because I knew that the Mortal Kombat 2 for all the other systems had that stuff, and there were rumors that the Game Boy as well had. And they did. They had the hidden fight against Smoke and Jade. That was included in this. And Babalities too, which I thought was pretty cool. So let's take a look inside and see what there is to see. Okay. So, look at this. We got a whole bunch of goodies. We got the instruction manual. We got a precautions booklet. We have a Midway registration card. Here are 3 reasons to send in your warranty card. 1, technical support. Registered customers can receive help from Midway game counselors. 2, information. Sending in this card entitles you to free information about updates, new products, free offers. And 3, free video game offer. Fill out and return your warranty card within 10 days, and it will be entered into our weekly drawing. The winner receives a free Midway Home Entertainment Incorporated video game of their choice. That's pretty cool. Then we have another Nintendo Power advertisement. This is the 3rd different one we've seen, and it's the same price, I think. So 36 issues, $45. That's a pretty good deal. For some reason, I thought Nintendo Power was more expensive than that, but apparently it wasn't. And then here we have, I believe, some Midway advertisements for games. So let's take a look. Or Acclaim's Superstar lineup. So here it shows Trog, for the NES, I believe. Then we have the Simpsons Bart vs. the Space Mutants, also for the NES. And then there's a tip there. Double Dragon 2 for the Game Boy. Wizards and Warriors 3 for the NES. The Punisher, the Ultimate Payback for the Game Boy. Arch Rivals for the NES. Bart Simpson's Escape from Camp Deadly for the Game Boy. And we also have Double Dragon 3, The Sacred Stones for the NES. Smash TV for the NES. And then here, a double-player wireless head-to-head system. 2 controllers for wireless head-to-head action, twin turbo, rapid fire and slow motion, and Power Player wireless infrared remote controller. That's a pretty cool advertisement there. All right, let's take a look at the manual here. Let's see what's inside. What did I do with it? Here we go. Okay. Let the tournament begin. You now possess 2 of the greatest fighting games ever created. Mortal Kombat. For the past 500 years, the depraved shapeshifter Shang Tsung has held an annual combat tournament on his remote island. His long-standing champion is Goro, a huge four-armed mutant warrior whose combat prowess provides a steady supply of souls from vanquished opponents to renew Shang Tsung's life force and keep the ruler young. Now 6 new contestants gather, each a master warrior with deadly special powers. The rules dictate that they must fight each other and a copy of themselves before taking on Goro, and ultimately Shang Tsung himself. And then Mortal Kombat 2. Utterly defeated, a disgraced Shang Tsung returns to the Outworld a failure, facing execution at the hands of Shao Kahn, supreme ruler of the Outworld, the astral planes of Shokan, and the surrounding kingdoms. With the apparent death of Goro, his fate seemed sealed, but Tsung told Kahn of his plan for revenge, a plot so evil and twisted even Kahn was persuaded to grant him one final opportunity to redeem himself. He cleverly lured his adversaries to the bizarre Outworld, where they would face a new challenge, a tournament hosted by Shao Kahn himself. Today, the tournament begins again. So here it shows you the Mortal Kombat 1. You have Kano, Raiden, Liu Kang, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, and Sonya. So it's missing Johnny Cage. And then here, Mortal Kombat 2, you have Liu Kang, Sub-Zero, Katana, Scorpion, or Reptile, Shang Tsung, Melina, Scorpion, and Jax. So here are the warrior profiles. Note, some characters and moves differ in Mortal Kombat and Mortal Kombat 2. So Kano, it says, a mercenary, thug, extortionist, and thief. Kano lives a life of crime and injustice. He is a devoted member of the Black Dragon, a dangerous group of cutthroat madmen, feared and respected throughout all of crime's inner circles. Sonya Blade. Sonya is a member of the top U.S. Special Forces unit. Her team was hot on the trail of Kano's Black Dragon organization. They followed them to an uncharted island, where they were ambushed by Shang Tsung's personal army. Liu Kang. After winning back the Shaolin tournament from Shang Tsung's twisted clutches and returning him to the Outworld in disgrace, Liu Kang returned to his temples. He discovered his sacred home in ruins, his Shaolin brothers lost in a vicious battle with a horde of Outworld warriors, a parting salvo from Tsung and his minions. Now he travels into the Dark Realm to seek revenge. So this is his Mortal Kombat 2 biography. Reptile, also Mortal Kombat 2 biography. Shang Tsung's personal protector, Reptile lurks in the shadows, stopping all those who would do his master harm. His human form is believed to disguise a horrific reptilian creature whose race was thought extinct millions of years ago. He enters the contest hoping to defeat all and protect his master. Sub-Zero. Thought to have been vanquished in the Shaolin tournament, Sub-Zero mysteriously returns. It is believed the secretive member of the Lin Kuei, a legendary clan of Chinese ninjas, has traveled into the Outworld to again attempt an assassination of Shang Tsung. To do so, he must fight his way through Shao Kahn's tournament. Shang Tsung. After losing control of the Shaolin tournament and returning to the Outworld in disgrace, the shapeshifter Shang Tsung promised his ruler Shao Kahn that he could still unbalance the Furies and allow Kahn to take over the Earth. His plan was to lure the Earth warriors to compete in the Outworld, and then, win or lose, never to let them return. Convinced of this plan, Shao Kahn restored Tsung's youth. Katana. Katana's beauty hides her savage role as a personal assassin for Shao Kahn. Seen talking to an Earthrealm warrior, her motives have come under suspicion by her twin sister Melina, but only Katana knows her own true intentions. Jax. Major Jackson Briggs was leader of the U.S. Special Forces unit, of which Lieutenant Sonya Blade was a member. After receiving a signal from Lieutenant Blade, Jax embarks on a rescue mission. hoping to retrieve both Sonya and the elusive Kano, wanted criminal and leader of the Black Dragon organization. Sonya's trail leads him into the ghastly outworld, where he believes both Sonya and Kano to be held prisoner. Melina. Serving as an assassin along with her twin sister Katana, Melina's dazzling appearance conceals her hideous intentions. At Shao Kahn's request, she is asked to watch for her twin's suspected dissension and must put a stop to it at any cost. Scorpion. This reincarnated specter is back after learning of Sub-Zero's return. He again stalks the ninja warrior, following him into the dark realm of the Outworld, where he continues his personal mission to avenge the loss of his family at the hands of the Lin Kuei clan. Raiden. Watching events unfold from high above, the mystic Raiden realizes the grim intentions of Shao Kahn. After warning the remaining warriors from the Shaolin tournament, Raiden soon disappears. He is believed to have ventured into the Outworld alone. Goro. 2,000-year-old Goro is half human, half dragon. He has been undefeated for 500 years. He won the title of Grand Champion by defeating Kung Lao, a Shaolin fighting monk. Goro is the supreme ruler of Shao Kahn's armies. Now, a side note, Mortal Kombat 1 for the Game Boy had Goro as the sub-boss, and then had Shang Tsung as the real boss. But in Mortal Kombat 2, Kintaro did not appear. So you only had Shang Tsung as the sub-boss, and then Shao Kahn as the real boss. Not only that, it looks to me, I hope it's just the design, but it looks like this got wet at some point. There's a big stain here. I hope it's just the design though, but who knows? I don't think so. Alright, and lastly, Shao Kahn. The supreme ruler of the Outworld, Shao Kahn governs the astral planes of Shao Kahn and all surrounding kingdoms. 500 years ago, he banished the shapeshifter Shang Tsung into the Mother Realm, Earth, to pay for his crimes. Shang Tsung was ordered to unbalance the Furies and create a weakness in Earth's dimensional gates. This weakness in the gates would allow Khan and his minions to forever walk the Earth and plague its inhabitants to a dark and chaotic existence. Only then would Shang Tsung be cleared of his offense and the curse be lifted. So that is the insides of the Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 game. So we are going to stop here. That is the bottom half, 10 through 5, of the top 10 most expensive games in my Game Boy collection. So to recap, we have Tetris at number 10, worth $125. Street Fighter 2 also tied for 10th at $125. Operation C in 8th at $167. Godzilla in 7th at $171. Dr. Franken 2 in 6th at $176. And number 5, the double pack of Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 at $329. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I will upload the final 4 in another video. I appreciate you guys watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.